Welcome back to Queenly Conversations with Coach K. I have a very special guest here today. And so I just want you all to know that we are so grateful for this opportunity because this is a busy, impactful woman who is spreading her message across the globe, y'all. So this is a wonderful time for all of our queens to come together, converse, let our hair down, and talk about what makes us queens. So thank you so much today. We have Deborah Missy Scott here today. Deborah Missy Scott is the CEO of I Am Boundless Coaching. As a pageant and public speaking coach, she is committed to empowering individuals to unlock their future and full potential. With a strong background in personal development, she helps her clients succeed both on and off of the stage. She is also the author of the children's book, I Am Boundless, which she wrote to inspire children to persevere and never give up on their dreams. As a fine actress and YouTuber, has appeared in national commercials and a Tubi film. In addition to her many accomplishments, she continues to actively compete in pageants, and in July of 2024, she proudly represented the United States during an Olympic year and won the international title of Ms. Summit International in the Philippines. Deborah's goal is to continue to live her dreams while empowering others to follow theirs. For that is her purpose. Thank you so much for being here.
And
Thank you,
thank you
thank you,
for
thank you
having me.
so So I'm gonna just hop right into it.
Let's
How
go.
did you get into this world of queens, girl? Because people want to know. Want
Yeah.
to know.
Well, Coach K, I am really what I consider a non-traditional pageant queen. This is not something I've been doing since I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, or even college. It's something that I seen as an opportunity and I jumped on it. So, backing up, during the pandemic, I was working in corporate and my store was doing really well, or at least I thought. I had received a call and they said, you can either transfer to another store or you can leave the company and take severance pay because this store is shutting down. So I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, there were rumors going around that this might be a possibility, but a rumor is a rumor. And so at that moment, I was faced with a decision. I was like, what am I going to do? And it didn't take me long. It did not take me long at all to know that this was my opportunity to leave and do what I always wanted to do. And that is really get into the entertainment industry and be an entrepreneur. So that's exactly what I did. From there, I just invested in myself and I was doing different things. So I was in Raleigh and I found some great opportunities over in Charlotte with Diana Davis. She's actually the owner of Crowns Magazine. So I was doing some hosting for her with the Charlotte Entertainment Network. We had a show called the Talent Showcase. It was people from all over the Southeast coming to compete at this talent showcase. And I had the opportunity to host. I started interviewing people on my podcast, and I was like, this is fun. So she had featured me in Crowns Magazine. And I was like, oh, pageantry. I did not know that there were different pageant systems. For me, being so new to pageantry, I thought you had to be in college. I thought you had to be a certain height. And those were the two requirements. And I thought you had to be of a certain age. I first competed in the MS division. So I was like, oh, you can be whatever. There's a pageant system for you. There are so many different types. So one pageant system jumped out to me because I seen that if you were to win on the national title, you would receive a contract with a talent agency. And I'm like, this is perfect. Like, I'm getting into hosting, I'm doing some more acting, and to be able to get this contract and it be something that is official, not something that you just find on the internet and it might be a little shady, because I almost ran into that when I was younger, but that's a whole nother story. I was like, this is cool. But the only thing is, I had never competed in a pageant. So I'm like, well, where do I start? So once I made up my mind that this was something I wanted to do, I sought out help. I did a lot of self-discovery about what I wanted to do with my platform, and it really morphed into something else. It morphed into something where I really wanted to empower others. I was such in a happy space where I was that I wanted to encourage other people to do the things that they enjoy. They didn't have to completely switch careers like I did. That is definitely on the extreme extent, but to incorporate something that makes you happy and do what you love maybe once a week. You know, it could be something as simple as that, but it'll just make you that much more happier to incorporate. So my whole platform is I Am Boundless is all about empowering people to overcome any boundary that gets in the way of their happiness, in the way of their success, and to keep striving forward.
Oh, beautiful. You knocked off like the first five questions. So that makes it even more fun because now we can get into kicking it,
Yeah,
Queen.
we get into it.
You better plug the I Am Boundless, which is how I actually found you through the Petite USA system. Because I am, a part of the Petite USA system. Once a petite queen, always a petite queen. And just seeing how phenomenal and inspirational you are, and to now know the beginning, the origin story, if you will, and to have seen kind of like mid journey to where you are now. I'm just like, where else are you gonna go? You're gonna be like Mrs. Universe, like Galaxy
Yeah,
2028.
I love
You are
it.
it, girl. You are it, girl. So speaking of I Am Boundless, since we got to speak about that a little bit, I want to talk about what was the catalyst to creating that specific platform at
Yeah.
the time that you created it. So, can you tell us more about I Am Boundless and some of the things you've accomplished and how that came to be?
Sure. So during that time frame, again, it was just a lot of change for me. So it was back in November of 2021, I went skydiving. And this is when I decided that I was leaving the company. I'm investing in myself, and November is my birthday. So I'm like, I'm going skydiving. And I remember the night before I was going skydiving, I was so nervous. I'm like, am I really doing this? I really signed up for this. Woo! I could not sleep. And then the next day came. It was time to go skydiving. And then you sit down. I don't know. Have you ever been skydiving before?
I have not. I keep checking it out. I don't think I can just drop out the sky. I have a thing with
Yeah,
air,
yeah.
and I'm a cheerleader. I've always been a cheerleader, and I was
Oh, what were
never
you
the
on
girl on
Flyer?
top. And not absolutely not. They were like, you are the heaviest yet smallest person. How is this physically
It's
possible?
hilarious.
I don't trust me or trust anybody else kids picking me up. I don't even flip. I was the dancer, the choreographer, the jumper, the girl in the front, but I just couldn't do anything in the air.
So crazy. And I did too, and people are like, "Are you a Flyer?" I was like, "No, I was a back spot." Like, "Really?" I'm like,
I'll catch the stunt.
I got you. I had to back up and then catch him because I was really too short. So I had to back up a little bit and catch the girl. Okay, so
I'm
anyway.
sisterly support. Sisterly
Yeah,
support.
I was
Okay.
like, not all of us are flyers. Okay. So anyway,
No.
when you decide you want to go skydiving, you go to the place and then you have to sign all these papers, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like just signing my life away. Do, do, do. You're watching this video and the video freaks you out, and you're like, okay, do you want to back out? Do you want to back out? I'm like, nope, let's do it. So I'm ready to go. I'm all geared up, and I get in the plane, and it's a small plane. It's not like a commercial plane. So you can feel the wind. You can feel everything because it's so small. So I'm up there and we're like rocking around in this little plane, and I'm looking out the window and I'm like, okay, I'm about to jump. And they were like, yeah, kind of soon. I mean, this is only halfway. I was like, what? That was my face. I was like, this is halfway. Oh my gosh, here we go. So we just kept on going up and up and up and up. You have to get to a certain point before you can jump. So we're going all the way up, and the guy was like, "All right, you're ready?" So he's attached to me in the back. And I'm like, all right. So we go over to the door and the door's open and all this wind is like flying in your face. And I'm like this because the, the wind is just blowing. And he was like, all right, on the count of three, one, two, and he jumped. There was no three. They jump on two because on three people hold on. So they're like one, two, and then they push you out. Like, and they're attached to you. So, they decide to jump, you're out there. And I was there. I was out there flying, free falling. And I was like, okay, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. And then he opened the parachute. And once he opened the parachute, it was so tranquil. It was like you were just gliding in the air, and it's just amazing view that I seen. It was fall. So I seen all of the leaves on the trees covered in the most beautiful shades of orange. And I said this to myself, if I can do this, I can do anything. I am boundless.
Anything.
That's literally where I came up with I am boundless. It was not something that I always used to say. Once I had that experience, I was like, whoa, I can do anything. That's the feeling that came over me. And it was something that I really needed in order to jumpstart everything. And that's why the colors and my logo for I Am Boundless is orange, orange, orange. When I have a workshop, I Am Boundless, I'm wearing orange because it's all reminiscent and tied into that moment right there.
That is, it's like you have stories for days. I'm so
I,
grateful for this interview because I'm like, it's just like I'm on every word. Like, please tell me more.
yes. So I mean, that's when I came up with it. That's when I was thinking about it because really initially my platform was going to be breaking ground. I was going to be like, oh, okay, I'm breaking ground. I'm doing something different. And it wasn't until that moment where I was like, oh, I am boundless, like
You
this.
were looking at the earth and it was in the sky.
Yeah, I know. I was like, here we go. Yeah. So once I received my national title at Petit, I had before that, I decided I want to reach as many people as possible. So a part of that was going on a 10-state tour. So I went as a national title holder. Once I won that, I went to 10 different states. I talked to children from diverse backgrounds about following their dreams. And that was just such a rewarding experience. I went places I did not think I would go. As much as I love to travel, I just had never thought about going to places all over to talk to children. And one of the first places that really jumped out to me was Utah. I went all the way out there and it wasn't Salt Lake City. It was a small town way outside of Salt Lake City. Once I landed in Salt Lake City, it took me about 2.5 hours to get to my location. So I had to rent a
Oh,
car
wow.
and then drive out there. Yeah, and it was dark. It was dark. You're in the mountains. And I went to college in the mountains, but it's nothing like Utah. And it was so dark. You're driving, you're seeing these big windmills that are ginormous. And then you see these shadows and you're like, look at these huge shadows. Those were mountains. So I was like, I cannot wait to get to my location. Let me just go. And I remember the counselor, she was telling me, thank you so much for coming out here because a lot of the children in this area, they feel so limited to what they can do. And me being from the city, being from Philadelphia, it's completely day and night from the little town called Price in Utah. But there are children in urban areas that feel the same exact way, that feel like they are limited. So I realized that it didn't matter where you come from, what's your background. We all have dreams inside of us, and we all feel sometimes like we are limited. So I really decided that I want to show children that that is not the case. I wrote my children's book, I Am Boundless. And once I wrote that, I donated it to all of the organizations that I had went to during my 10-state tour.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That is so important. That's how I ended up here in South Carolina in the Sea Islands because from everywhere, whether it's a rural area, whether it's
Mhm.
heavily populated urban area, or like you said, in the mountains,
Yeah.
children when they see you and see your energy. They see your beauty inside and out. And that crown, girl, that you wear not only on your head now, but even when you walk into a room, how you it just carries that regalness. It really is something inspirational for children and for adults alike. Because I know I was obsessed. Like I went on a YouTube deep dive. So excuse me while I fangirl out.
You're so excused.
So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll be views. Like you have so many views on a video, I'm probably like 50 of those on
Oh,
one video. Especially when you got crowned Miss Petite USA, because it was a
man.
very special moment. It You did great with the editing on that as well as a digital girly. You know,
Thank you.
appreciate the
Highly of
chef's
it.
kiss. So let's talk about some fun stuff.
Yes.
So, in our organization, we didn't get to do a talent, which my best friend said
Yeah.
somebody must have paid for that because I could stand flat footed and sing like Whitney Houston. That's not even the shade. I
Right.
said that was that's what they said. So I want to know are some hidden talents that you possess, Queen.
Okay. Well, I also have on my talent resume voiceover as a child. So I would love to be a voiceover for like an animation where it's a little girl. I'm really good at that. I would say that's a little
Oh my goodness.
everybody knows.
I don't know why, like, I got like Susie Carmichael and Angelica Pickles in my head, like Kids Next Door, all of that. Like, what's her name? Cree Summers?
Great
That she
stuff.
does like all,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I'm too country. People say it all the time.
No,
Like,
there's no such thing. There's no such thing.
okay. So in this word of Queen, speaking of our hidden talents,
Yeah.
I got to when I was talking to Miss Black Mississippi. She was actually Miss Black Port Gibson at the time, but she's newly crowned. So congratulations.
Nice. Yes.
Um, we were talking about how, in the everyday life, when she was in her everyday world, sometimes she kind of didn't get to be her full self.
Mm,
And then when she came into this queen world, it was like finally, like I get to be the fullness of who I am.
yeah.
And outside of the crown, outside of like that everyday life that we have, what are some things that people don't often get the chance to see in your everyday life that shows up in Queen Deborah Missy Scott
You
life?
know, I feel like I put myself out there so much, and I do it in a way that's showing my life, showing my queendomhood, so it's hard to say, like, what people aren't seeing. Maybe they don't know how much work I really put in, but then again, maybe that's evident from, the posts that I have. I can't really say, but I would like to convey that I'm constantly thinking about what else I can do. I'm constantly trying to make that world impact and be better. I love coaching other people and helping them to be better as well. And for me, I just feel like it's a journey, constantly growing, constantly elevating, and that includes helping other people as well.
Yes, yes. Speaking of mentorship,
Mhm.
do you currently have a mentor, and could you talk to us more about your mentorship programs with other women in your network or your platform?
Yes. So I currently have several mentors. I think that's important. And people ask me, well, you're a coach. Yeah. And I believe so much in the positive aspect of coaching that I would reach out to my mentors. I have reached out for to other coaches because I do believe in that. It's necessary to have no matter what stage of life you're in. So for me, with coaching, I decided I had already been helping people, Coach K. I had already been helping people, and people reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, can you coach me? Can you help me with this?" And I was like, at the time, I was not in a position where I could really coach someone. I said, I can mentor you, but I'm doing so much that I wouldn't feel right saying I can when I know I don't have that time to make that commitment because it's something I do take seriously. So it wasn't until I gave up my crown at Petite USA and I no longer had that title and I didn't have any responsibility towards a pageant system, that's when I created my business, I Am Boundless. And I believe if I was from going from Petite USA right into Universal Petite, and I didn't have that time where I didn't have a crown, I probably wouldn't have created my company. So I am really grateful that I did have that space because it made me sit down and think about what is next, what kind of impact I want to make. And I said, I want to officially coach. And so I created my business within 2 weeks. I had the LLC for it. I was working on creating the website and everything ready to go. And I had my first client all the way in Texas, had never met her before, 2 weeks after that. So I was just really grateful for having that opportunity. And then I decided, oh, I want to compete again. I am ready for my international title. So that's when I signed up for Summit International. I got that title in September. So I gave up my title in late July or early August for Petite, and then turned around in September, was getting ready to compete for the international title, but I had created my company.
I love how you said I'm ready for my title.
Yeah, no, I'm claiming it. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm claiming it. And it's just you you have plans and then God has plans, and you just have to go with it. And eventually you look back and you're like, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I absolutely love what I do. Like I love coaching people. And with what I looked back, it's been 1 year, a little over a year at this point, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I helped girls in the Black USA system. I helped people in the United World system, the Petite system. The current winner, MS Petite United States. That's my girl, DC. I coached her. It, you
That's
know,
my baby.
yeah, she's amazing. So it's just so rewarding to see win or lose, just the transition of where these queens start and then where they are by the time they're ready to compete. It is huge. It's huge. And sometimes you just don't see yourself. And for someone to look at you and say, oh, you're this, you're that, go for it. Do you realize how far you've come? And that's why I believe so much in coaching and mentorship.
Yes, ma'am. Brother. Okay. So I have about two more questions for you because I see how passionate you are. And I want to talk more about those passions that you have, not only for the service and the work you do, but the passion in your life that is not necessarily in all of the service you do, but in how you revive yourself. How do you replenish yourself? Because you wear a lot of hats. And
Yeah.
I'm a self care coach. So
Oh,
a big part of what I do is, and why I wanted to create this space, because with Queens, it gets really heavy wearing that crown. And so I really want to be able to spread the message of, you know, not only that service aspect of what we do, but also how do you revive, replenish yourself, and by fulfilling not only your service passions, but your passion for life. So, what
yeah.
are some things or some tips that you could give some queens out there?
Knowing what's important to you and understanding how you being healthy plays a role in those things that are important to you. So, as much as I love helping people, I can't do that if I'm unable to help myself. So, what a day looks like to myself looks like whatever I want to do. Maybe that's just going outside, taking my dog for a walk, being around my family. They really fill up my cup, that they have been with me on this hectic journey since day one. I always got a crazy idea in my mind. And they're like, so they call me Missy. They're just like, all right, Missy, another idea. Oh, you're going skydiving? Oh, okay. I tried to go in the hot air balloon with them. I was like, you guys want to come do the hot air balloon? No, I ain't doing that. I'm like, ah. So, They're just used to all of this, and they really support me in anything that I do. So it's nice to just be around them. And life is so short. Life is just so short. So just taking those moments to be grateful for what you have in this moment right now. Look back at what you've done and be so proud of yourself for that. And also, I say this to a queens so many times, stop comparing yourself. And yeah, stop comparing yourself. They often ask me, how can I stand out in a pageant? Like, what do I do? Do I need to have this prop? Do I need to change my hair? Do I need to be more like that? And I'm like, you know how you stand out? By not trying to fit in. Be yourself. So knowing that you are good enough. And I love going to the spa. I love shopping. Some days I just turn my phone on do not disturb and I have that moment to myself with the people that are around me. And I'm really good at doing that. I'm really good at doing that because I know how necessary it is to take care of yourself. You have one body, you have one mind, and you're not able to do the things that you enjoy reaching out to others if you're not good.
Thank you so much for that. I hope that hits on someone's spirit who watches this
Yeah,
back
me too.
later. 'Cause that is so necessary. Thank you so much. So, how can people connect with you and learn more about I Am Boundless, your platform, your business? I like you to tell the people how they can stay connected
Yes.
with your
So
phenomenal self.
I love it. Phenomenal. That is the word of the day.
It is. It very much is.
I'll take it. So I am on YouTube. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Deborah Missy Scott. I also have a website that I just launched. I really have not officially put it out there yet. Like I have this new website now, but it is iamboundless.com. Is boundless with one S because I am boundless with two S was taken. I don't know who grabbed that from me, but iamboundless.com. And yeah, you can reach me during any time. I'm really good with reaching back out to people and messaging them, seeing what's going on and how we can connect. And this is officially my first interview with my new title. I was holding on to this to give you the exclusive. So this is the exclusive first interview as Miss Summit International.
Oh, I'm so happy someone told me to wear clear mascara.
Yeah.
You know, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Queen.
yes.
Thank you. It's honestly been an honor and a privilege because I haven't done pageants in like 13 years. So coming back into this system and having you as a predecessor was just amazing. And from being a black Southern girl from down
Yeah.
south and seeing all the things that we got to experience in this year's class, it was just
I
it
loved
was
it.
it just made my heart so full. And then
Yeah.
also, like you said, you got to work. I saw your pictures recently. You got to spend some time with a few ladies in the Miss Black organization, Miss Black
Yes.
USA organization.
Mhm.
And I got to do that too and come home from Mississippi. So it's just been so healing and seeing you be the representation that all women need around the world and
Yeah.
being that representation for us on that side of the world. Because I stayed in Asia for about 4 years.
What? I
So
didn't know that.
yes, I lived in Japan for 4 years, so I'll always be traveling and doing work in the Philippines and Vietnam and Thailand.
Nice.
Thailand is my favorite. I
Oh my
love
gosh. Look, Kevin, my
Bali and
next
Bali.
time you're
Yes.
traveling, call me. I want to go with you.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
down
people that
because
love to travel. I'm like, I'm going with you.
people just don't understand the quality of service. Moving back to the States after living in Japan, I had to come back to reality when it came to customer service. I'm used to my
Oh my
tissue
God.
being folded in
Yeah.
nice
Oh my
triangles,
goodness.
people.
Yeah. Japan, their customer service is phenomenal. Like when I had layovers, I was like, oh gosh, here we go. I went to Japan and at that point I knew my luggage was lost. and they were so polite. They worked so hard to try to get my luggage back to where it needed to be and land. Their customer service is off the chain there.
This, the spirit of Gomenasai. So that that's the courtesy care brand, doing everything with courtesy care. So I look forward to everything that you do. May God bless your reign, Queen. Thank you for being a voice in a ocean full of craziness and chaos in this world. You are a vision and a beacon of light shining for all to see in a city on a hill. So I pray great things over you, your family, health, wealth, and everything. Just blessings flowing to you, sis.
I love it. Thank you so much, Coach K. And you truly are a light as well. I mean, just looking at you from Petite over in Nationals, that's why people are like, oh, that's my favorite, because you were just so positive. And pageant week can be so difficult and so stressful. And just having one person just say, you're good. You need anything? Girl, you're beautiful. I seen you doing that, and everybody's seeing you do that. And it's just so great to have that positive energy. I just want you to know that it shine bright and it does reach people. So anytime you need anything, let me know. I'm here for you. Whatever you want to do, another interview, whatever, 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 whatever,
I
whatever.
got you, sis. I got you. We might just be heading back to Bali because I need another live, love, pray moment.
I'm with
Okay.
you. Let me know. I'll get my ticket.
Thank you, sis. Hey,
Yes.
y'all, please tune in. Follow us on YouTube. Please subscribe to Queenly Conversations. If you know a queen, are a queen, we are all queens. Please just come in and sit down and have some tea with us so we can talk about it. Okay. So I'm Coach K, and we are out. Thank you so much.
Mhm.